is full of wonders, and we're here to bring you rare moments you've never imagined. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and let's dive into these magical moments together.
In a devastating incident at Port Forum in Barcelona, a fire destroyed 4 luxury yachts, resulting in about $1 million in damages. In a maritime mishap, the bulk carrier Yeoman Bridge collided with the container ship NYK Oceanus, resulting in damage that caused the ship's steps to detach. Witness the dramatic moment as the MV Arvin meets its fate. As the ship strains under the relentless pressure of the waves, you can almost feel the tension build. Even with safety measures in place, this crane was no match for the cargo container it was carrying. Incredibly, everyone escaped without harm. Watch as this stack of shipping containers crumbles under the ocean's relentless force, plunging into the depths below. In another docking accident, the Milano Bridge, a 1,000-foot container ship, had a significant incident at Busan Newport in 2020. It collided with several gantry cranes, causing the destruction of one crane and damaging another. Next is the Asia Port Terminal in Karachi, Pakistan, where the container ship Tolton collided with another vessel, sending shockwaves through the port. In these remote waters, a large ship collides with an unsuspecting fishing vessel, sending shockwaves through the crew as they scramble for safety. During a routine exercise off the coast of Sevastopol, a missile launched by the Russian Navy takes an unexpected and dangerous turn. No one and nothing was harmed, nothing except the ego of the Russian army. This freak accident, as described by the authorities, happened in Las Palmas, Spain. In this video, the 1,800-ton Vulcan de Tamasite crashed into the harbor wall, causing millions of dollars in damage. Off the coast of Cap Corse, the cargo ship Ulysses collided with the container ship CLS Virginia in a dramatic maritime accident. The impact caused significant damage to both vessels and led to an oil spill. At the Seaboard Marine, we see how dangerous crane operations can be. The crane, tasked with lifting a large load, suffered a failure that led to a collapse, knocking several containers loose. While fires on cargo ships are relatively rare, they can lead to catastrophic consequences when they occur. This is what happened at the Colombo anchorage in Sri Lanka. In a startling occurrence, the Vec van Rousdouw collided with the Paula after passing dangerously close on its starboard side. As the ship made a sharp turn to port, the maneuver went awry, resulting in a crash. Next is the Herm Kipe colliding with the tanker Yana in the Kiel Canal. In December 2019, a cargo ship in the port of Antwerp, Belgium, drifted after its mooring ropes broke, which was made worse by storm winds. The vessel collided with a 43-meter-tall gantry crane, causing the crane to partially collapse. Brace yourself for the intense moment when the Matanuska ferry crashes into the Ocean Beauty seafood processing plant in Petersburg, Alaska.
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, the ferry just crashed into Ocean Beauty.
When a cruise ship decides Venice is just too beautiful to pass by, but stop wasn't part of the itinerary. In Barranquilla, Colombia, the cargo ship MV Merweda collided with a pier on the Magdalena River while arriving from the Netherlands Antilles with a load of salt. The incident highlights just how tough it is to maneuver these large water vessels.
Incidente ocurrido por una mala maniobra del capitán.
This 400-foot Liebherr crane used on the Deem Orion floating vessel can handle loads of over 1,200 tons at once. Just maybe not today. This container ship became stuck after colliding with a bridge in Rotterdam, Netherlands. The ship struck the structure while navigating through the waterway, leading to significant disruption in maritime traffic. The Stellar Banner, an iron ore carrier, was left to sink after it was deemed unseaworthy and could not be towed away for repairs. High winds pushed a Spanish cargo ship into a sea wall off the coast of France, splitting it clean in two. Luckily, all 12 crew members were airlifted to safety by helicopter. Two captains, one ocean, and zero compromise.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Looks like the "my boat's bigger" debate just got physical. Anchor doesn't always mean safe. This ship must have been dreaming of bumper boats. Too bad the neighbor wasn't in the mood to play along. In a frightening accident in Bahrain, the HMS Chiddingfold, while suffering some serious mechanical issues, crashed into the HMS Bangor, causing major damage. When someone says, "take the scenic route," and your ship takes it way too seriously, that bridge definitely didn't want to be a part of this party. Ever had a bad parking day? Multiply that by 200,000 tons and you've got MSC Leanne redefying rough docking. When two captains argue over right of way, the ocean doesn't pick sides. It just sits back and watches the chaos unfold. This pirate ship wanted to raise its mast, but clearly forgot to check the overhead clearance first.
Wow.
Here's why naps and piloting don't mix. This ferry's captain nodded off at the helm, and this ship decided to go rock climbing. Thankfully, everyone on board was unharmed. Canoeing next to massive container ships? Bold strategy. These guys are living life one paddle away from disaster. When the CSCL Star gave a parked cruise ship a little nudge, it felt less like a friendly hello and more like an awkward handshake gone wrong.
Oh no! We do have a boat over on the porch. Sea
This superboat hit the throttle, but the waves hit back harder. Key West waters clearly weren't in the mood to play nice that day.
It looked like CMS. Okay, one person is out through the bottom hatch of the boat. We'll see who it is and we'll see who comes out. Miss Geico is responding.
High winds, high stakes, and one boat on the edge. This guy gave it his all, but Mother Nature proved once again that she wins every time.
Uy, ang barko! Hala! Hala! Hala, uy! Hala to! Hala, may tao dyan! Hala, wala na! Diyos ko! Oh my God! May bata! Hala, may bata! Hala, bata! Hala! Oh my God, Lord! Oh my God! Hala, bata! Oh my God!
This ship took going down with the sun way too literally.
Hala, bata! Hala, uy!
Thankfully, all aboard made a clean escape before it fully went under.
Hala, uy, hala!
When two patrol boats were too busy patrolling each other. Looks like Protect and Serve took a backseat to oops, didn't see you there.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Siktir oğlum.
İnsanlar yok mu?
A historic mansion stood tall for over a century until this bulk carrier decided it needed a remodel. Clearly, subtlety wasn't part of the plan.
Suat Bey batıyor şu anda. Hızlı batıyor.
Senin amına koyayım ben!
Allah'ım sen yardım et bu insanlara yarabbim. Sen yardım et bu insanlara yarabbim. Yarabbim sen yardım et. Allah'ım sen yardım et. Sen yardım et. Sen yardım et.
Supply vessel or magician? This ship pulled off the ultimate disappearing act. Thankfully, all aboard made a clean escape before it fully went under. This ship may have aimed for precision, but delivered destruction. Apparently, sometimes docking can turn into a full-on demolition.
For a second, as we look through a sea of sails, as we remember the rocks are lit the thing. We're going to start to see again.
I don't think so. It didn't work from last time, so they're just going to back their advantage, stay where they are.
A luxury yacht versus a super tanker? Not exactly a fair match, but they went at it anyway.
The spinnaker is on the front of that orange ship.
Miscalculations turned into maritime mayhem here. No injuries, just a dockside disaster. What happens when a ship's wake looks like a surprise audition for Sharknado? Waterfront residents better grab their surfboards, or maybe their insurance papers? Captain's like, this is fine. Meanwhile, the waves are doing their best impression of a car wash on hard mode.
Oh my god, this is just getting a little bit scary now rather than just plain exhilarating.
We go to the room now. Let's get excited.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I've been looking at it for 5 minutes now.
Vai pra lá, sim. We got 20 foot, 10 foot. Oh! Oh! Kissing it, kissing it. Oh! Connection, baby. Holy moly. It damn sure did, son.
Triumph in name only. High winds unleash this massive ship, turning the port into a floating pinball game. An ordinary day at the port quickly went south as this ship proved maneuvering isn't for the faint-hearted. It literally had to give up and leave. The tugboat here could not lower the tow line in time, and it ended up in a crash. Now, everyone's against the tugboat guy. Fighting the current, this vessel said challenge accepted, but nature wasn't having it. The result, a soggy lesson learned. But hey, at least it didn't fully sink. This wave brought its A-game, leaving the ferry passengers with a heart-pounding view of nature's brute force. Who gave this idiot driver the keys?
Alright, somebody needs to get this idiot off the boat.
Everyone at Barcelona Port was left with their jaws on the floor when this ferry tangled with a crane. Thankfully, no injuries were reported in this dockside showdown. Think parking in your neighborhood is rough? Try dealing with Mother Nature's repo service. These cars didn't stand a chance. These two boats met and said, "You're in my way." Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but their egos probably need a little CPR. The captain hits park, but the ferry says, "Nah, we're going for bonus points." The ramp never saw it coming.
Number 9. Despite being commissioned in 1982, Polarstern is still one of the most advanced icebreakers in its class. It was a flagship of the Alfred Wegener Institute and was built to hold polar and marine research facilities. In fact, between 1999 and 2001, Polarstern was massively remodeled and overhauled to better equip it for scientific polar research. With the ability to operate in the packed ice zone, Polarstern can break up ice as thick as 5 feet and withstand temperatures as low as -58 degrees Fahrenheit. Measuring over 380 feet in length, and with a top sailing speed of 5 knots when breaking through ice, Polarstern is one of Germany's strongest vessels. On average, Polarstern is operational 317 days in the year and covers over 50,000 nautical miles. Through research and supply runs, the ship is an integral part of the German Antarctic research programs. Number 8. Named after the 12th Prime Minister of Canada, Louis S. Saint Laurent is the largest icebreaker in the Canadian fleet. Classed as a heavy Arctic icebreaker, she serves a dual purpose of bringing supplies and aid to some of Canada's most rural communities and providing a strong presence in the polar region. The 393-foot-long vessel is a mighty giant in the freezing north, whose schedule typically consists of voyages to Canada's Arctic, where she carries out multidisciplinary scientific expeditions or supports the annual Arctic Sea Lift to transport military goods where needed. Since she was built in 1969, the ship has been through 35 refits, survived 2 massive fires, broke ground, rescued ships double her size, and offered aid to those living on the tundra of northern Canada. Her captain claims that this hasn't slowed her down, and she is likely to keep going for 15 more years. Number 7. Almirante Irizar is one of Argentina's largest Navy vessels. Named after Julian Irizar, the lieutenant of the Argentinian Navy, most of this ship's missions revolve around resupplying Antarctic outposts and transporting and rotating research personnel. Almirante Irizar's history is long and storied. Throughout the years, she has transported troops during the Falkland War, become a hospital ship, and taken on daring search and rescue missions. However, in 2007, that history almost abruptly ended when a catastrophic fire broke out on board. All crew members were evacuated, and the captain stayed on board alone for nearly 24 hours before being rescued. Having suffered considerable damage and losing the 2 $18 million Sea King helicopters, Almirante Irizar was deemed a total loss. However, the efforts to save her were ultimately successful. After 9 years docked in repairs, she was finally considered safe for the open seas. Unfortunately, the $1.9 million repair bill is a grim reminder of the effects of the 2007 fire. Number 6. USCGC Healy is the United States' largest icebreaker in its Coast Guard fleet. Built in New Orleans, Louisiana, the 420-foot icebreaker was launched on November 15, 1997. The Healy is used primarily as a scientific vessel and has over 4,200 square feet of research and laboratory space. It can burst through ice as thick as 4.5 feet and maintain 3-knot cruising speed thanks to the 4 diesel generators which can generate up to 35 megawatts of power. Unfortunately, in 2020, all Arctic operations had to stop after a fire broke out on the ship just off the coast of Seward, Alaska. This incident damaged critical propulsion systems, and crew members had to reroute to Seattle, Washington for repairs. Despite no reported injuries, Healy must now go under extensive repairs that involve cutting open the ship in order to remove the 106-ton engine inside. Number 5. Built as a successor to AGB 5002 Shirase, the AGB 5003 icebreaker was launched in April of 2008 in Maizuru, Japan. Costing over 37 billion yen and weighing in at over 12,500 tons, this is the 4th of the Shirase series of icebreakers. The 452-foot-long ship is powered by 4 diesel-electric motors, which can provide enough power to reach a top speed of 3 knots when breaking ice as thick as 5 feet in the frozen waters of the Antarctic. The Shirase has had an interesting life since her inclusion in the Japanese Defense Force. In 2013, an anti-whaling group claimed that the vessel was associated with whaling activities, a claim that was strenuously denied and had no evidence to back it up. Though cleared from the accusations, the ship's luck wouldn't last long, and tragedy would strike in 2014 when Shirase unexpectedly ran aground outside Antarctica. Though the outer hull was penetrated, the vessel avoided sinking and managed not to leak any fuel into the environment. This kept danger at bay and let Shirase live to sail another day. Number 4. The Yamal is the youngest of the Arktika series of Russian icebreakers, launched in October of 1992. It uses 2 OK-900A nuclear reactors to power it, and at a length of 486 feet, this kind of power is most definitely needed. Yamal was originally designed in the Soviet era, but by the time she was launched in October 1992, communism had already collapsed. Yamal and her sister ships are confined to operations in the Northern Hemisphere. This is because their reactors, shielded by steel, high-density concrete, and water, need cool water to function, but a trip to the south would mean crossing the equator, where this doesn't exist. Yamal helps to facilitate the growing trend for mass tourism in extreme areas, as she is one of the few vessels capable of getting to the North Pole and bringing tourists with it safely. Number 3. Operated by Rosatomflot, Vegach is the longest-serving icebreaker in the Russian Federation. Powered by a single KLT-40M nuclear reactor, it's capable of breaking ice up to 7 feet thick. Intended to have already been in retirement by now, in 2016, the vessel's nuclear reactor was studied and granted an extension from 175,000 working hours to 200,000 working hours. This added 5 long years to Vegach's lifetime, and in 2018, it earned a world record for the longest-serving nuclear-powered vessel in history. However, the history of Vegach hasn't always been a happy one. In 2011, a fire broke out inside the ship's living quarters, which ended up with 2 people being killed and a third injured due to smoke inhalation. Many were worried that the ship would leak radioactive material into the environment, much like her sister ship Taimyr had already done that very same year. However, the reactor was luckily not affected, and there was no radiation on board the ship. This was fortunate, as had it been affected, it would have been catastrophic to the ship and for the surrounding environment, which would have been polluted for years to come. Number 2. Russia's 50 Let Pobedi is the second largest icebreaker in the world. This gigantic vessel is 525 feet long and is powered by 2 OK-900A nuclear reactors. The ship's name translates to 50 years of victory, referring to the anniversary of the victory of the Soviet Union in World War II. The Victory has a unique feature which helps it break ice. Its spoon-shaped bow, as well as its huge size and weight, are capable of breaking ice up to 16 feet thick. Although the Victory is now used as a tourist vessel and has many luxurious features such as a bar and sauna among others, this wasn't why it was originally designed. Rather, the icebreaker was purpose-built to pilot the Russian scientific community and cargo ships to hard-to-reach areas in the Arctic and along the Northeast Passage. These days, the ship offers comfortable accommodation and gourmet cuisine for 128 passengers for just over $31,000 per trip. Number 1. The Arctica icebreaker represents a new dawn for icebreakers, as it is the lead ship in a new series of Russian vessels under which is known as Project 22220. The project will eventually see 5 new giant ships be launched, and these will surpass all icebreakers that have gone before them. On the 14th of November, Arctica left the port of Murmansk to officially become the largest icebreaker ever to enter service, having been launched 4 years earlier. Arctica was the first of 3 LK-60 icebreakers, which are dual-draught, wide-beam ships able to handle 9 feet of ice. They are each powered by 2 RITM-200 reactors of 175 megawatts each. With over 568 feet in length, the ship is undoubtedly the king of icebreakers until it's joined by its sibling Sibir, which is expected to enter operation in 2021 and Ural in 2022.
What if glaciers aren't just frozen, but ticking time bombs waiting to explode? As these ice giants shatter into the sea, leaving behind waves of destruction and beauty in equal measure. Brace yourselves today. We're witnessing glaciers literally break the ice, but in the most epic way possible. Hold on to your seats, or maybe even your snow boots, as we dive into some jaw-dropping glacier collapses that will make you rethink your next winter vacation. We're starting off in the Arctic, where a massive glacier is about to collapse. Look closely as flocks of birds take flight, sensing something big is coming. Then brace for the wave that follows, and there it goes. A massive wave crashes as the glacier hits the water.
That's a wave.
birds scatter, and the raw power of nature is impossible to ignore. Now we're in Argentina's Perito Moreno Glacier, 2013. A massive chunk of ice breaks off, and what do the spectators do? Cheer, of course, because watching a glacier crumble is totally something to celebrate, right?
Yes!
And there it goes, crashing into the water. The crowd's still cheering like it's a sports event. Classic. Next, we're in Iceland, where a glacier starts to collapse like dominoes, one by one. And the tourists on the shore? Yeah, they start to realize they might want to not be there, as the waves from the collapse race toward them. The waves crash into the shore with insane power, sending everyone running. Nature doesn't do gentle. In southern Patagonia, Chile, we've got a glacier that starts off slow. But then, watch this. It's like the Earth decides to reveal its secret. A huge chunk of ice flips over, exposing the deep blue beneath. The scale is jaw-dropping, and that color? Absolutely mesmerizing. It's like nature's version of a hidden treasure.
Like artillery.
In Kenai Fjords, Alaska, May 2010, it starts small with just some ice crumbling. Then, bam! A huge chunk falls, creating a massive wave. The tourists, as always, thinking they're on a calm ride, get a reality check as the water turns into ocean-like waves. Luckily, no accidents, but that picnic definitely got interesting. In the Arctic, Steve Leonard and Arctic expert Jason Roberts were on a speedboat searching for polar bears when they stopped to watch a glacier calving.
What happened there, we got hooked on a piece of ice, lost the full bit between the underwater.
At first, just a few small chunks fell, but then the entire wall above them cracked and broke apart. You can hear the crack. They barely escaped as a massive chunk crashed down, sending debris flying everywhere. A few ice pieces even came dangerously close to hitting their boat. Talk about cutting it way too close. In Disco Bay, northwest Greenland, we have an incredible scene, a round glacier bridge starting to crumble. It begins slowly, but piece by piece, the entire wall breaks apart, almost forming horn-like shapes as it falls. The person recording seems captivated until they realize they're way too close. The footage turns shaky as they rush to escape, and thankfully they made it out. what a risky front row seat to nature's power. Glacier bridges are always a treat to watch, but when they're collapsing, it's like something straight out of a movie. That's exactly what happened here at Perito Moreno. A massive ice bridge starts to crumble, piece by piece, and then down it goes. The bridge couldn't hold on and collapsed in spectacular fashion. A jaw-dropping scene you wouldn't believe unless you saw it. This clip from Sawyer Glacier, Tracy Arm, is a reality check for anyone who thinks glacier collapses are just a fun spectacle. It starts with tourists cheering as the ice falls, completely unaware of what's coming next. Suddenly, a massive chunk crashes like dominoes, sending debris and flying ice dangerously close to the tourists. A chilling reminder: glaciers don't play, and neither should we around them. In March 2016, Argentine Patagonia's Viedma Glacier put on a show with one of the largest calving events of the season. For over 2 hours, onlookers and tour guides watched in awe as massive chunks of ice broke away, a true spectacle of nature. This dramatic collapse is a stark reminder of how rapidly glaciers are retreating due to climate change. Impressive? Yes. Saddening? Absolutely. Greenland's Ilulissat ice fjord doesn't do small. Here, icebergs up to 3,000 feet tall break apart in jaw-dropping style. Watch as this behemoth collapses, slow at first, then all at once, the waves that follow are like mini tsunamis, shaking everything in sight. It's both incredible and a stark reminder of the shifting face of Greenland's glaciers. Back to Perito Moreno Glacier, where things get straight up sci-fi. Watch as a massive iceberg erupts from under the water, creating what's called an iceberg shooter. It's like a scene ripped from a blockbuster movie. The sheer force displaces water in a powerful jet, sending waves and splashes everywhere. It's nature's way of reminding us who's really in charge. No CGI required. And now for some next-level audacity, surfers riding a glacier collapse tsunami. As the ice crashes into the water, creating a massive wave, what's their first thought? Let's surf it. Seriously. Riding a wave of ice and chaos might look cool, but let's call it what it is: absolutely reckless. One wrong move, and they'd be part of the glacier's history, not the highlight reel. Some tourists at Iceland's Glacier Lagoon got more than they bargained for. They were mesmerized by a massive calving event, a truly jaw-dropping sight. But as the colossal ice chunk collapsed, it sent waves flooding the shore, and suddenly awe turned to panic. They ran for safety, still trying to process what they just witnessed. Nature sure knows how to make an exit. And for the finale, prepare to witness raw power at Columbia Glacier in Alaska, where a 200-foot tower of ice emerges from the depths like something out of a fantasy epic. This ice shooter is a jaw-dropping spectacle. The glacier's face cracks, releasing a massive chunk that plunges underwater, only to rocket back up with explosive force, towering over the ocean.
Holy! Oh my God, look at that! Oh my!
It's a reminder of just how colossal and unpredictable glaciers really are.
Oh! Whoa! Oh my God!
That's gonna be big. Oh wow!
Oh, there's more coming down.
Yeah, I just turned my camera off. Didn't I turn it on?
I got it.
Woo! Man,
That's awesome.
that's big. There's a shooter coming up.
Oh, there we go.
There's a big shooter.
Oh man, Scott asked you for a shooter. Look at that! Holy shit!
Oh my God!
That went up like 300 feet in the air.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
That is huge. There comes another one.
Oh, look!
Gee, Scott, really, talk about a neat ticket ride here, buddy.
That's good. I haven't seen a shooter like that since that big one I saw last year.
Holy cow!
I have it on video too. There's Ron in the front.
Still
Yeah,
video.
right behind Ron.
Whoa, it's still moving.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's going to be rolling over and breaking apart. Wow.
Pronto, bastano? Quante bastano? Vediamo a basso di arricire almeno quando è 15?